Okay, checking the sound. Honestly, I don't even know why I did this makeup, because my plan after this just to go for a run, for a run and do a workout. So I don't know, maybe it's somehow connected that I had a kind of like a festive mood. That's why I decided to do this makeup, because I was decorating a Christmas tree today and I'm very, very excited because it's almost done. We got a Christmas tree yesterday and it's amazing, very beautiful Christmas tree. It's almost done, but I'm waiting for very, very cute vintage ornaments of cats that I ordered. So I'm very excited about those, and we pretty much done with decorations. Anyway, today I want to tell you about my experience with Vipassana meditation. This was my first time ever. I wanted to do this for a while already. Like, I believe I heard first about this retreat maybe like a few years ago, and only this year I was kind of like, okay, this is my time. I either have to do this, either, you know, I'm gonna pass it to my bucket list again for like next few years. As I said in the part one, I started my registration about at summer's application. I started my application about in the start of this summer 2025, and by the end of the summer I got approved, even though this process was pretty complicated. There was a lot of back and forth emails. They wanted to really they asked me tons of questions about my past, about my background, about if I have any mental disorders, which is I have, about my mental health, about my experience with the meditation, any style of meditation at all. So it was really a little bit draining process. I honestly already, like, I feel with the first email before they actually confirmed me, I even got a little bit rude, because my attitude in the end, even though I'm really grateful for this opportunity, but like because the questions were like so repeating itself in a different forms, so that, and it was a lot of questions, like all the time repeating itself in different forms. So I was already like, okay, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, but you either let me in, either like I think I'm gonna be fine. Yeah, because it was started getting a little bit weird. But now I understand that they really just wanted to choose, because it's a free course. They really wanted to choose, and I feel there's a lot of candidates, a lot of people who want to try this. They really wanted to feel that you're serious about this experience. So like, if you're now currently in the process or you're going, even if you're annoyed, don't give up. It's worth it. It was just very overwhelming, very intense, but very special experience that I think the full value of it I'm gonna understand truly only later. Like, I feel there is such a big process time, that happening subconsciously inside of me. Even like after I've done a course, today is like last day of November, and I've done the course on September 21st, and for 2 months I was just in super, like, my experience, I was just in a super weird condition. I was like digesting the whole process. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you, I guess it's gonna be 2 or 3 parts between those 10 days and a little bit afterwards what happened. Okay, day one, when I actually was in Airbnb in a desert in Joshua Tree, 10 minutes from Vipassana Center, and I was recording the part 1. After that, about like 3 p.m. I arrived to Vipassana Center, and it's honestly reminded me a little bit like a summer camp. I was super excited first. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be so cool. And I went to the main area. It's kind of like how to call it? It's kind of like a main area, which is registration center. There is boards with the information, and also there is a kitchen. This was the only day, this one and the last day, when I saw some man, because the whole center, it's very beautiful, very big, and it's kind of separated in like 2 parts from men and women, but they kind of mirroring each other, those 2 parts, but you practically do not see each other only day 1 registration and when you're leaving. Like, it's really comfortable and it's really cool, I feel, because you're supposed to focus on the meditation and just feel cool, safe, and stuff like that. Don't want to put any stigma on men, but I mean, it's like, I went to registration. There's like already some people arrived, and all people, like, you look at them and you're like, oh yeah, we're here like to meditate. This is Vipassana people. Okay, I'm gonna call it like that, Vipassana people. Like, you just all kind of dressed in this, you look at them and yeah, it's kind of like a Vipassana people. We all kind of dressed very modest and clothes that's suitable for meditation, for desert. I just forgot my hat. Most of the people brought their big hats, but there was some in the center, so I was good. Anyway, we started our registration, and for registration you basically need to fill out kind of like a, just like a sheet with information, and then on the other side you write kind of like a summary of your life or something like that. So it's essentially what led you here. I don't remember which questions were there that were helping to write you this like mini, I wouldn't say essay, but like a just summary about your life, what led you there, kind of like what background do you have, what you were doing in life. I mean, it's initially, I think essentially everything there is supposed to be just related to I don't know, any traumas you have, to meditation, if you tried any meditation, if you tried Vipassana, or whether you're new student or old student. Old student is the one who already practiced Vipassana and came back for another course. Yeah, something like that. After you completed the information, they asking you if you are ready to give out your phone. And during those 10 days in Vipassana, you basically have no access to your phone. This is like the point, to focus on a meditation and do not have any distractions. You give out your phone, they put it in a like just like in a plastic bags with the label of your name, and showing you basically kind of like give you a little map of the center to help you to find your campus where you sleep. And I found my campus pretty easily. Basically in this campus, I know there is some rooms which is I've also found out like later in the end, there's some rooms that were only for one person, but most of the rooms, at least in my campus, all the rooms were for two people. For two people, they mirroring each other, from one side of the wall there is bed, from another side of the wall there is bed, and in the middle of the curtain, AC, and two doors. So it's like very comfortable. You ultimately supposed to not really, don't really communicate with each other, don't really see each other, and things like that. Two doors. So I went there, and then registration day, it's just registration day. It does not count like day one of Vipassana. You only do registration, you go unpack your stuff, we chit chat with my nice roommate, we just like, introduce each other, because we're supposed to later to, put the curtain and do not communicate with each other anyhow. And after that we had a dinner, which is also very surprising. Very light dinner. All the food during the course and overall there is vegetarian, which is very nice for me. I love vegetarian and vegan food. We had a really nice soup. The dinner was around like 6:30 or 8:30 p.m. I'm not really sure. I guess 6:30. And we had like a soup, very delicious soup. I like this soup. There's always also salad bar on the left side, which is basically anything that you want. Like, I was really surprised with the food. I honestly was expecting something more modest. I genuinely thought that I might be gonna eat only like a plain rice with the veggies for the 10 days, and I was kind of like preparing myself for that. But no, food actually was delicious, amazing, homemade, like really cool, like really awesome food. I enjoyed food like I feel as everybody else a lot, and we'll get into details a little bit later. I'll show you the kitchen. The kitchen is kind of, usually when there's a meal time, and registration day was the same, and at the meal time, at the time that you're supposed to go to the dining room, the students that work there as volunteers, it's usually old students who came to Vipassana before or came already multiple times. They volunteer for free to basically work as cooks, to prepare meals for you, maybe to clean up, help, and do the gong. So like there is a gong, and basically, I don't know how else to say it, ring the bell. It's not the bell, it's a gong, but like, yeah, ring the gong. In the important times that everybody have to pay attention is like meal times, time when you're supposed to go for meditation. Yeah, basically it. So we heard all the gong, and we were all very excited. We was chatting, getting to know each other, and we went for the dinner. I really loved the dinner. I chat with some girls. I met there Russian-speaking girls from Israel. I met some other people. We chatted a little bit about our experiences. Most of the people actually was there for the first time, like me, new students. Some of the people actually even had a Vipassana course I've done previously in another center, like in another country. It just like sounds super cool. Like I can't imagine doing it on Bali or India. That sounds super excited. Anyway, after that, we had a meeting in the meditation hall. As I remember, we wasn't meditating. We only went for the meeting, and meditation halls kind of is actually my favorite. My favorite hall from all the buildings. Structures, which is honestly mostly only campuses, and main hall, dining hall, kitchen, and meditation hall. In meditation hall, everybody assigned their own spot that you have to remember and sit only there. It's just a pillow, basically. And yeah, teachers come out to us. We kind of did greet and meet, let's say, a little bit. They introduced each other. Our teachers, I would say, they really do look like a gurus or something. Like they look like a teachers. They have very, very like, not like this movie pretentious type of a person who acting like they enlightened ones and better than everyone else. No, like those teachers, like as a women, we had a woman teacher, and man, they had their man teacher. Like they really, really, you look at these people and they really look very different from any person I ever met. Like I believe genuinely that this person is enlightened, at least like way more than any other person I ever met in my entire life. It's hard to describe this vibe. It's just very pure, very, I don't know, pure, light, wise energy. It's just their presence, the way they speak, express themselves is full of just empathy, acceptance, wisdom. It's honestly crazy. Like I really was like curious who our teacher, right, who's gonna guide us through this journey gonna be. And those people I looked like the one who are, I don't know, who not just like some mock-up from the movie, but like a real life person who are, I don't know, just very different, living life on, I guess, more spiritual level. So anyway, our instruction was basically, they gave us a blueprint. They gave us a little bit of instructions how everything going on. They said that basically, after this instruction, you going back to your campuses, preparing yourself to sleep, and from now on, you're not allowed to communicate to each other anyhow. So not verbally speaking, not showing, with your hands any signs, no facial expressions to each other, no communications at all. From now on, silence starts, and tomorrow you're gonna wake up and you're gonna start, I believe it's called Anapassana. Anapassana is the first 3 days of course, which is actually not a Vipassana, but different lighter meditation technique that serves to prepare you for harder technique as a Vipassana. So yeah, we just basically back to our campus. I closed the curtain, we stopped talking, we stopped communicating, and yeah, basically just prepared ourselves to sleep and went to sleep. Okay, I got tired to sit a little bit too close to the sun on my face. So day one. At day one, I was, first of all, night before, I was really afraid that I'm not gonna get up. But first of all, they do have gongs. They ring the gong, ring the bell, ring the gong at 4 a.m. every day that it's your time to get up. Everybody has also their schedule in their room. I showed the schedule on their website, which is they are openly showing on their website that you will be able to prepare and know like how serious it is and what is waiting for you. The next day, I woke up at 4 a.m. From the gong and from the clock alarm of my roommate. I basically did not figured out the clock alarm on my clock, so I basically was just waking up by my roommate clock alarm. So I guess it doesn't matter. One clock alarm on a one room works. Yeah, I basically woke up at 4 a.m. and we have like 30 minutes to like wash up, brush our teeth, dress up, and at 4:30, by 4:30, we're supposed to be in a meditation center to meditate. And I have to say, it's so beautiful when you wake up at like 4:30, specifically in the center in Joshua Tree. The center is kind of like on a mountain, so it's like super, super close to the sky. I mean, super close to the sky from our regular experience of being, I don't know, seeing the sky and the sun and the stars. So at 4 a.m., the stars there are amazing. I honestly have never seen stars so close to me. It was very beautiful. Like every early morning when you wake up, it's kind of like a reward. You see these amazing stars and you're like, okay, I understand why I'm doing this. This is amazing. And also, I have to just say again, for the whole experience, this just worth it just to see the stars for me and the sun, because I saw the most beautiful sunrise in my entire life, seriously. And I haven't seen the sunset really, because I guess at the sunset time we were meditating in meditation hall, but you see basically the sunrise before you go into breakfast. And sunrise, I swear, it's the most beautiful I've ever seen. I've never seen sun so close and so big. It's literally, it's like huge, you know. And I've seen like good, not sunrises, but maybe sunset. You know, I've seen sunset on the Philippines, which is like very beautiful beaches, a really clear sky. I've seen sunrises, you know. I mean, I've seen some stuff. Okay, I've seen some stuff, but this sunrise was like wow. It's like I first time. We all know that sun is just kind of get up and it's here, you know, but I've never really noticed the detailed process of how sun really get out and how it changes the light. Like, it was just like, I just have to speak about it because it's really fascinating, and it's really lifetime experience that really left a big impact on me. Like, before going to the breakfast, I just like remember stopping there, and a lot of people just stopping there and look at the sun. It's just really slowly get out, and first everything kind of red, and you see the plate, like huge plate of the sun is just showing up, almost like in the theater. It's showing up, and the light from the like gradually from the like red become orange, and from orange become yellow, and sun get up more, and from yellow it become very light yellow, like almost white, and you're like, wow. And this is like the most amazing reward in the start of the day, as before you go into meditation hall at 4:30 a.m. to meditate and you see the stars, and after that, before the breakfast, you see how the sun rises. Was amazing. I guess because we were in the mountains, like for people who maybe live in the mountains, oh my god, this is like the best treat. I realize it's like when you see how the sun rises, it's so big, it seems so close to you, which is just wow, like one lifetime experience. Anyway, first 3 days, as you see in a schedule, in the meditation hours, we were practicing Anapassana, which was just preparation for Vipassana. Basically, Anapassana is when you sit, we were allowing the time to move, to switch our poses, even though asked to do it the least as possible. Anapassana is when you're just sitting there and focusing on your breath. So basically, they were just instructing us to sit with closed eyes, trying not to control your posture, trying to not to switch, our legs, our arms too much. And during those hours, just sitting there, focusing on our nostrils. And I believe on a second or third day, besides just like air and nostrils, we were asking to start focusing on a sensation, like here, on this like triangle here. I'm not gonna go too deep into this. Plus, I want to like people who watching this video, maybe considering to go to Vipassana, to really, experience it yourself and to hear it for the first time yourself. I'm just gonna say the first 3 days we were practicing our breathing and focusing on a sensation like under our nose. At the evening, during the entire course, we was watching how his name Ganka. We was watching basically a video course around, I believe, 8 or 9 p.m. Video course of this Ganka guy. It's also kind of like, I don't know, enlightened guy who are essentially discovered Vipassana meditation from somebody else who actually directly, I don't know, was student of Buddha or something like that. So it just happened maybe, I believe, I don't want to lie, but like maybe like 60 to 100 years ago, something like that. He actually, I just know he died pretty recently in 2013 or 2008 or so maybe like 60 years ago. And he was initially a businessman, but after he tried a Vipassana, it changed his life. What's interesting about him, and instead of businessman, he started to build Vipassana schools all over the world, and basically, give lectures, give speeches about Vipassana, support schools and build schools, and basically helped to enroll everybody he knows in Vipassana. So basically it's kind of like he kind of had this way of like Buddha, Buddha who was a prince actually, and did not need to discover himself or improving himself, because he already was like born into wealth and had everything he needs. But he essentially ran away from his palace because he didn't like that life he had, and he discovered a tree, and he basically was just sitting under the tree without any movement, and discovered this technique of Vipassana, which is observation of sensation. And started to basically educate everybody who he would meet. So the most exciting is those video lectures at 9 p.m. and meal times. Honestly, for me, it was especially at the start and at the end of the practice, which was kind of like challenging parts. I feel the first 3 days is like novelty got me through, but last 3 days was like super challenging for me. So anyway, first 3 days were like fine. Because you're allowed to move, you're allowed to, I don't know, you're sitting 3 hours meditating, 2 hours meditating, you can leave the room. It was pretty much okay. But as I believe a lot of new students would get a little bit frustrated, or not even frustrated, I would start to have doubts about technique, doubts about myself. I would get insecure because I generally, when on day 2 or 3, besides breathing, we're supposed to like observe this sensation under like our nostrils. Sometimes you just don't feel it. You just don't feel it. And I honestly, I most of the times I actually think I felt the sensation itself, because it's ultimately just breathing and you feel the air like under your nose. But I first kind of couldn't understand what he meant by. I feel I overanalyzed it. I overcomplicated. And I started to think that sensation, it's some special feeling, because teacher started to talk about, sometimes you can feel not just like an air, but you actually can feel like heat under your nose or cold under your nostril. So like a lot of different types of feelings, and I just didn't feel them. I didn't feel them. Or if I ever felt them, I think now that I dismiss them because it was kind of too much for me. I don't know, it's hard to explain. You really have to experience it yourself, but I'm just telling you, it's pretty normal during the entire course, especially if you're doing it for the first time, or especially if you meditate ever for the first time, oh my God, there's so much doubts come on, there's so much insecurity, there's so much over-analyzing, over-complicating, and just thinking that something wrong with you, that you do not feel what everybody's supposed to feel. And but on a day 4, what happened is actually Vipassana starts. Schedule, I remember a little bit changed. I don't remember how exactly, but hours a little bit changed, and Vipassana started. Initially, it started from the practicing at least an hour without moving. And honestly, I believe for the entire course, that was the time. That was the only, time restriction where I could do it. So I couldn't not moving more than an hour. So an hour, it was like my biggest that I taught myself. Like an hour I can sit without moving, even though last days I got so frustrated and so in my head and already like so kind of like overwhelmed and even like kind of angry. I had oh my God, this was such a journey. I had a panic attack there, and first time for like really long time. Anyway, I taught myself not moving for an hour, but it was fascinating to me how some people actually could not move at all. Like not moving, they're like, you can correct your posture, but not moving is considered you do not move your legs anyhow, you do not move your hands anyhow. And if you never meditated and you think like, what's about that, not move, try to sit in meditation and not on the floor with the straight back, and just like don't even move your legs, and at least for like 20 minutes you'll see your leg. Even at home when I was meditating before, my leg usually started numb in like 20 minutes, about 20-25 minutes. So it's I feel this is kind of one of the highlight of my experience there, is that I was able to just go through an hour where my legs not just started numbing, they started like be actually in like pain, like really painful. And it's mostly for my legs. I feel for everybody else too probably. It's mostly the legs. They started to get numb. They started to get like in a pain, in a like you feel this ache, you feel this like extreme uncomfortability. Also, my eyes were like watering in an hour. Yeah, and this is kind of like the most challenging part, and I do genuinely believe that we have to not run away, but go into our fears, our pain, our suffer, experience our suffer in order to self-growth. Like if you really want to self-growth and develop and release your full potential, you just have to suffer. Unfortunately, this is the truth of life. I feel all the next chapters of our development through our life starts from the place of suffer and pain. So anyway, back to day 4, 5, 6. Day 4 was very challenging when I realized we supposed to now don't move at least for an hour. And it was getting more challenging and more challenging. But the worst days for me was like day 4, 5, 6 was fine, was pretty much fine. I would say on the day 7, 8, I already started getting a little bit frustrated. Not only from the pain or from that you do the same thing over and over every day, from the just mundane of the schedule, mundane of there is like nothing going on, there's no distractions, there's no entertainment. The only entertainment there was a walking path. It's kind of like a walking path that I discovered only on a day like maybe 2 or 3. It's very beautiful place, just basically like a little park with the path made from stones. Amazing, just mind-blowing views on a like Joshua tree surroundings, where you walk before the breakfast, walk after the breakfast, walk in resting hours, which is not a lot of hours because technically in some of the resting hours we're supposed to meditate in our room, which is honestly most of the times I was not meditating in my room. I was just resting. I was just like on a bed, or I started to do exercises by the end of the course because I don't know, I just like feel that I need it. Yeah, but mostly it's just like a walking path that personally get me by from this experience and from the most challenging days, and for the most people too. Anyway, as I said in the part 1, we were not allowed to bring our journals, books, pen, I believe, but I brought a pen. I actually brought a pen, not specifically to, I don't know, journal or do anything or betray the rules or anything like that. I brought a pen just for registration day. I thought, oh, if I need to fill out the information, I'm gonna bring my own pen. And in the end, the pen, together with this walking path and also delicious food, this thing that get me through the most challenging day, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, guys, these days that was hell. I steal some napkins. And I started to write in the resting hours when we're supposed to meditate in our room. So like imagine you 2 hours meditating in a meditation hall with everybody else, you're not allowed to move. And after that, you go to your room and you meditate 1 more hour before the, let's say, lunch. So in those resting hours, I were taking napkins and I would use it as a journal. I basically use it as a journal and I would write everything that's in my head, all the stuff, all the worries. I was like writing about the experience. I was writing why I'm here, like because frustration were getting so bad. I was like, why I'm here, what is my goals, I have to stay strong, blah blah blah. I actually even done a calendar, a mini calendar of 10 dots, 10 days, and I know, I actually even admitted it to my teacher. We had some hours, I believe after lunch, where we could schedule appointment to go talk to teacher, you know, because she's guiding us, she's helping us to go through this experience. We have a lot of doubts and insecurities, a lot of stuff. So I was actually visiting teacher a lot. And I told her about this calendar and she said, no, throw it away. But I kept this calendar and I don't know, it brought me such satisfaction, and it's really helped me also to get by, is when in the end of each day, I was putting a cross on the dot when the day's over. Anyway, back to day 4, 5, 6. It was pretty much okay. You know, you still experience stuff. I discovered the walking path, amazing views, delicious food. Food is just amazing. The only thing was interesting is as you see in my schedule, if you noticed in my schedule, you basically have a breakfast around 6:30 a.m. I believe, lunch around 11:30 a.m. and after that you only allowed to eat like around 5:30, drink some tea with the fruit. That's it. So you like eat around 11:45. But lunch was like, oh, it was delicious. It was like all sort of stuff there. There always was a salad bar. Sometimes they even would, not always, but sometimes they would make a dessert. Like I remember some delicious, amazing like caramel brownies. Yeah, I was very surprised. Some other kind of like vegan dessert. It was really good. There was like some soups. There was a lot, just, you know, kind of like a vegetarian food. Just nice vegetarian food, lasagnas. Oof. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Very grateful for the food. I really was expecting it's gonna be much stricter. Yeah, and on a day 7, 8, 9, 10, I started to have nose bleeding. I remember it started to scare me a little bit because I didn't know that it can happen. But I thought it's like my mental health affecting me, maybe my stress from this whole experience or whatever. But I started to have this random nose bleeding. Like I go to the restroom and we have only like 5 minutes break, and after that we have to immediately go back to meditation because they start, you know, when everybody's here on their pillow ready to start meditation again. For example, you meditate an hour, right? Don't move. After there is a break of like 5 minutes, go to the restroom and you go and you meditate again. And I remember one of those days, maybe day 7, it might be actual day 7, I went to the bathroom and I wasn't going back to meditation center, and we have, besides the teacher, we also have sort of like a manager. It's also usually an old student, the person who went to this experience before. It's kind of sort of like a manager. I mean, not really a manager, but yeah, sort of. They help teachers to keep the discipline that everybody would be on a meditation center, you know, just completing the schedule, following the rules, sort of like a manager. A really nice woman who actually works in film, and which is I discovered later, who would like help us to just basically help a teacher to navigate life inside of the center. Yeah, and she started to come up. She come up to the campus. Everybody already left to the meditation center, but I got this nose bleeding, and I back to my room and I laid down because it was pretty intense. And she back to me, is like, "Oh, everybody's looking for you. Where are you?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I got this nose bleeding or whatever. It's already second time because previously I had it in the morning or whatever." I started actually freaking out, like, what's going on with me? And later I had an interview with the teacher. After lunch, she was asking me why I was missing from meditation and blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Oh, I have this nosebleeds," and she's like, "That's normal. That's pretty normal." Actually, it's one of her most favorite reply. We later, when we were chit-chatting after the course with the other students, we were laughing a little bit, like it's her favorite reply on everything. Like, it's absolutely normal. You're okay. Yeah, she said just basically, if you ever guys been for a while in desert, I didn't know that. I never lived in desert. That actually, if you live like in desert, especially in the mountains, and you didn't get used to it, you started to have nosebleeds just from the dust, from the desert dust. Yeah, so she kind of like make me chill about this. I'm like, oh, okay, it's just because we're desert and the dust. Yeah, and I would say day 8, I'm not really gonna go into it, but I really had a panic attack and I felt really bad. And my resting hours, I'm kind of like going crazy. I started to working out, even though there is not much space, but I was just working out like on a floor. There's a little bit, you know, space. I made it work somehow. I was working like on the bed because it's really helped my nervous system to kind of regulate myself. And I guess what else important I have to say, I guess it's actually the highlight of this entire video, is that I was on a Proxac. I know that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not your therapist, but like I'm not actually able, I'm not allowed technically to give you advice, but like do not be on meds. When you go to like retreat like that, do not be on Prozac, do not be on any antidepressants. This is not a good time. If you're currently taking antidepressants or I don't know, even ADHD meds, I genuinely believe it's not the best. I'm not sure about ADHD meds actually, but antidepressants, definitely no, because as I said in part 1, I just started before this experience to taking Prozac. It's just like happened like that, and I feel this has ruined a lot of things from my experience in this. This video is already super long, but what important I have to really say and highlight from this video is that during the course, it's like a roller coaster. Not during the even course during the day. And we were talking when we on the day 10, when we broke the silence, we started talking. We were like, oof, we started talking, chatting with the students about the whole experience, and everybody admitted it was not even the roller coaster during those 10 days. It was a roller coaster during the every day. And this is so fascinating because the schedule is the most mundane. You know, people usually do not live such a mundane life. I mean, I at least don't do. And this schedule, very strict, really mundane, very like the same every day, and we do the same stuff every day. But besides that, I mean, not besides, but like despite that, every day from the very morning and first meditation is like a roller coaster of feelings. Basically go from the like, oh, amazing stars, amazing sunrise, I appreciate it, amazing breakfast, from like, I hate it, I cannot do this is just, oh, why did I sign up for this is just horrible. You're sitting on this meditation for the second hour and you already can't. Like my eyes would start watering by the end of the first hour. I would start feel all sort of feelings, like extremely intense. I would like cry, I would get annoyed, especially by the end of the retreat. I would just get extremely defensive. And what's important to say, which I think it was part of the effect of the Proxac, I noticed that I felt very cynical in some times of this experience. Not always, but like I would say in most challenging days, started from the day 6, 7, I started to feel extremely cynical. Like it's sort of like I couldn't feel nothing, no sensation during the meditation, or I was trying to block those feelings, or during the instruction hours of this videotape with the Ganka at the evening, I would felt extremely closed up to his words, and just not like empathetic, not like open to the experiences or interested in spirituality, even though I always was a very spiritual person. It's one of my biggest value. But like I would just feel extremely cynical and would try to kind of, how's it to say, put down or criticize this experience, criticize everything that's going on, because, and I believe I believe that Proxac played a role in this, definitely played a role. Like last few days before the day number 10, it's when we broke the silence after lunch, I believe. Last few days, day 6, 7, 8, 9, I kind of felt already that I can't do this anymore, and I went extremely negative, and I was talking a lot with the teacher, which has also helped me. But now I think one role played Proxac, one role is just because it's like a, you know, I'm a new student and it's like first experience for me. It was very intense, honestly. Sometimes I see some people would like cry and would go meditate at 4:30 a.m. Very dedicated, really was trying to go through the hard feelings. They would cry and stuff like that. And even last meditation that we did on the last day, day 10, I believe, before we broke the silence, is that we change, and instead of Vipassana we did meditation that kind of like meditation of love and empathy or something like that, and everybody like started crying, you know, knowing this is then day 10 experience going till then, and I was like laughing. I was just sitting and I was laughing. Like what I'm trying to say, there is like a roller coaster of the emotions. This whole experience is roller coaster of the emotions. But I guess going to the end and do a summary of my whole Vipassana experience is I definitely do recommend it to any human being. Actually, especially to people who are not interested in meditation, who are not interested in spirituality, who have very different occupation, not creative, not artistic, not spiritual anyhow, who do not believe in all this stuff. I would like really recommend it because it's just something that very challenging and give you extreme amount of self-growth and insight, whether you are able to comprehend it or not able to comprehend it. But to me, what's interesting was I thought that, I'm gonna back on track with the schedule. I'm gonna get even more disciplined like I used to be, like that summer in 2023 when I was like meditating and working out and getting up at 6, 7 a.m. without a clock. And what really happened after I get back home after this experience, I got really depressed. And I believe also a huge role played Proxac, which is I'll do a separate video, either like a reel, either a big video about my medication journey, because I finally switched already a few medications and finally kind of found what helped me now. And it's definitely, I guess, going to be very insightful for many people. But like, yeah, I feel I got really depressed. I don't know, either from the experience, either from the Proxac. But I thought my initial plan in the start of September was, oh, I'm back from the meditation center. I record my whole experience. I got very disciplined. I got very positive. I'm gonna feel better, make me feel better, make me. No, it's like I feel this is how actual self growth happening. I feel usually now reflecting on my life and on this particular experience, it's happening from the place of pain, suffering, depression. It never happens from the like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so good, everything is so amazing, I'm going on the next level of my life. Fuck no. It's like I returned home and everything was fine for a while, and by the end of September, all October pretty much, like now it's already last day of November, but like all October pretty much, I was so depressed. I was just like, I don't remember when last time I was so depressed. I actually stopped taking Proxac, and it's also kind of helped, but I know it was not only the Proxac thing, it was definitely this experience. It's like I needed this time, you know, like my therapist said, when you procrastinated or like you're depressed, your body basically trying to show you that you need to slow down. You need to slow down to process something important for you. And this is how I see it now. It's just like I feel the whole October I was just slowing myself down and shutting myself down to just like process a lot of things, a lot of thoughts, a lot of self-reflection that come up during this course. And I'm really also glad and grateful that I took a pen and was writing stuff on a napkin, because I used it as my journal. I brought like about 8 or 10 napkins back home, and that was really important thoughts and important insights from my life that I didn't really realize before. So I think this video is already too long, but oh my god, I really recommend you all to try this, because it's just, you know, kind of as they say on the website, is just one of the biggest and I don't know, most okay, I forgot how they said it on the website. It's like one of the biggest gift to humanity or something like that. I know it sounds very dramatic, but like it's definitely like everything related to your spirituality, self-growth, and meditation, which is the main tool to regulate your nervous system, to just to hear yourself and be alone with your own self without any distraction. This is definitely one of the biggest gifts to humanity, just to hear yourself and stay present.